afternoon, dear students. I'm Mr. Smanza, your tutor for business studies for the advanced certificate in secondary education. The class for today will cover some few units in your business studies subject. The subject content for this lesson for today, we will try to cover some few units for the sake of time. We'll cover unit 6, 7, and 8. Let's start with unit 7, with unit 6, which is all about the rewards, which is all about the importance of work, rewards, and relationship at work. We'll look at the reasons of why people go to work, the motivational factors, where we'll talk about the financial and the non-financial motivating factors, and the importance of teamwork. Why do people go to work? One would obviously answer the question as everyone goes to work for money. But let's look at it in a bigger picture. Everyone goes to work to satisfy their needs. What are these needs? We are talking about the basic needs. That includes food, water, shelter, and sex. These are things that one cannot live without. We have safety and security needs. Everyone needs to secured at work. He needs job security. We look at social needs. These are needs that are related to one having friends and family relationship. We have the esteem need, where we talk about confidence and self-achievement at work, where you can talk about promotions and recognition. The need to satisfy the self-actualization. Here, this is where we talk about the problem solving, creativity, and so on. Let's look at rewards as a motivational factor in a labor relation. What are these financial rewards? These are what the employer gives back to the employee in monetary terms. For example, the piece rate, salary, commission, and performance-related reward. An employee is paid according to those approaches. The non-financial aspect of the motivational factor includes things like the promotion, empowerment, employee enlargement, and training. Things that are not related to money or in monetary rewards. Let's look at the aspect of relationship. We are talking about the relationship at the workplace, the labor relation. We have some types of relationship that one can get in a work environment that can be classified in two groups. That is the formal and the informal group relationship. The formal relationship or group at the workplace is referred as to a group that is formed in line of the organizational structure, whereas the informal group, these are groups that are formed in a work relationship and are not part of the organizational, or you cannot get them on the organizational structure. There are advantages and disadvantages associated to joining such groups or such a relationship at work, where we look at the advantages, the advantage of a feeling of belonging to a group at a workplace is very important. Such groups gives an advantage that the work or tasks given to such group members is accomplished on time and easily accomplished, so to say. The skills and knowledge is one of the advantages that one can benefit from working together or being associated to a group. Work representation is also one of the advantages that if one is associated to the group can benefit. Let's look at the advantages. Some members in a group are afraid to contribute to a subject matter for any assignment given. Some are afraid to challenge the majority decision in any activity, whereas some can hide behind others. We are talking about the passive participation in a group, whereas others participate and others hide behind others. Thus, that is a few on the advantages and the disadvantages of joining any group at the workplace. Let's move to Unit 7. Unit 7 is all about the importance of formal representation and employee training at the workplace. When we talk about formal representation at the workplace, all we see the picture is the unions or the trade union, so to say, to be specific. What is a trade union? One may ask. A trade union is an organization of employees with the common interest, with the aim of improving the employment condition and protect the rights of employees. Why do people join such unions? We are talking about the trade union as a representative at the workplace. People join trade unions to be protected against discrimination. They join trade unions for greater bargaining powers. We talk of job security, where as employees must be secured in terms of illness, unemployment, and in cases of accident. There is also an opportunity to express opinions when you are represented by a trade union, where you raise your concern to the trade union that will express such opinions to your employer. We look at the improved workplace relationship. Trade unions, they help in facilitating the relationship between the employer and the employee. So those are the few benefits that an employee or a worker can get when represented by a trade union at a workplace. Let's look at the training. Training is one of the motivational factors at a workplace, as discussed earlier. Now, what are these types of training that one can get in a workplace, which is also the employer's responsibility? We have an induction. An induction is an organizational tour that introduces the new employee to the organizational structure and the policies of an organization. The other training is the on-job training. This is a training that takes place while an employee is doing his actual work. Off-the-job training. Off-the-job training, this is the type of training that takes place outside the workplace environment, where the employer sends an employee to a university or to a workshop or anything outside the working place. We have the apprenticeship training. Apprenticeship training is a combination of the on-the-job training and the off-the-job training, whereas it's more focused on the technical traits or aspects in the workplace. For example, the engineering type of work, the plumbing, and other trades. Management training, as the term itself tells or explains, this is the training that is provided to the management of the organization, which can either be in-house within the organization or outside, where managers or the management are sent to universities or to go and attend other workshops outside the workplace. Simulation training is another type of training that you can get at a workplace, whereas an employee is trained in a similar environment to that of the actual work, where machines or tools that are used at such a training are similar to that which are used in the actual work. That is in short about Unit 7. But remember, you are not confined to only what I have presented for now, but you are advised to cover the whole unit. Let's proceed to Unit 6. Unit 6 is all about the importance and the nature of customer needs, the business information, and market research. Take note. We'll look at the overview of the market itself, the components that are included, such as the term marketing, the marketing objective, and the research. Now, for understanding sake, what is a market? A market is any place where people can exchange goods and services. In simple terms, what is marketing then? Marketing is an organizational strategy of selling the organizational product or the company product information to the public or to the potential customers. What is the objective of such an organizational strategy, then what is the purpose of an organization going around marketing its product? It is simple. The objective is to increase, to make the customers aware of the product and attract such customers. A market research. Any organization, for success, to attract customers, before it launches a product, before the product is put on the market, the organization has to make sure that it gets more information about such a product and whether it's needed in the market. Now, in simple terms, is the purpose of a market research is to obtain information of the product and even of its competitors. This is very important in order for the organization to have a competitive advantage in a competitive environment. We have other important topics to cover apart from the units that we have just discussed now. One needs to understand the business terms. Such business terms, for the sake of this class, the business terms will include the own capital, the capital employed, working capital, the borrowed capital, and liquidity capital is one of the business terms of this subject. What do you understand by the term own capital? Own capital, in simple terms, this is the money or the finance that the owner of the business contribute to the business. Whereas capital employed, this is the money that is needed for the organization or the business to operate. Working capital. Working capital, this is the money that the organization or the company needs for the day-to-day operational activity of the business. Whereas borrowed capital, as the term itself explains, borrow the money. This is the money that the company sources from the outside, apart from the money that the owner contributes to the business. What does the term liquidity means in business terms? Liquidity is the financial status of an organization or obligation to meet its liability. So in fact, is the money that the organization is able or is having to pay its liabilities. We have also to look at the topic about creating an effective management. A question may come in any form, either straight or in a scenario form, whereas you may be asked, you are called for an interview of one of the positions in the management, whereas you are asked to explain to the panelist of how would you create an effective management if it happens that you are appointed in such a management position. This is where we'll look at the creating or formulating clear goals and objectives of an organization, aligning such objectives with the employees' needs. Whereas we look at the manager or the management following up on employees' performance, getting information from the management and the employees about the management and the employees' performance. In short, that's what we talk about, creating an effective management. You can read for yourself. A topic on the qualities of a good manager. You are also advised in simple terms, a manager or every person in an employment relationship, whether at any level in an organization, one has to have qualities. Now we are talking about the qualities of a manager, a person that have people, a span of control under him. What are these qualities? We have to look at few qualities such as the communication skills. A manager has to have the ability to communicate effectively to his subordinates. We talk of the emotional intelligence skills. We talk of the what is this one? We are talking about the what is this other skill again? Okay, in short, let's read more about that one. Let's look at, also read on the types of leadership: the autocratic, democratic, the laissez-faire, bureaucratic, and charismatic servant type of leadership. Please, you are advised to read more. Look at the characteristics of such types of leadership and also cover on the advantage and disadvantage of such type or associated with such types of leadership. Look or read on the difference between leadership and management. Cover the area or the aspect of entrepreneur or entrepreneurship, where you'll be required to understand what is an entrepreneur. In simple terms, an entrepreneur is a person that has the ability, the capability to use or transform the factors of production into good use. These factors of production, which includes the land, labor, water, and a few to say. That is in short about the content of this class. But we'll also look at the examination preparation and guide. The preparation aspect as an advice to you students. You are always at all times advised to pray during the preparation, and this is only if you believe in Christianity or in God, so to say. During your preparation, ensure that all the questions in the examination, you are advised that all the questions in the examination are from the content of the study guide provided by this institute, the IOL. So take note, your study guide is enough for your preparation, but you are not confined to it. Make sure that you understand the unit of the outcome of each unit. Please take note. You are also advised to get information on the venue and the time in advance before the date of writing. Do not forget to carry enough materials necessary for the exam. That includes the pen, the watch, your ruler, calculator, your student card, and other material that are necessary or required for the examination. Study materials. Students not in possession of study materials, for example, the study guides, should consult the center in your region in advance. The energy is a very important aspect in preparation for the exam. Students, you are advised to make sure that you have energy. Eat a balanced meal before you come for the exam. Revision. Make sure that you revise an hour before so that you have time to relax. You must also make sure that, or you are advised to revise in the last minute, as the say goes. The last minute can save a man. So whatever approach that you get, whether you revise an hour before or you revise in the last minute, that depends on you which one is best. Past question papers, please take note. NB, past question papers are very important. And this includes the assignments and the exam question papers. That was the preparation of the exam. Now, during the exam, you are seated there in the hall waiting for the question papers, or the question papers are being handed out to you. And advice still comes again. A prayer is very important first before you start writing. Please make sure that you first have to read carefully the examination instructions to avoid disqualification or to lose marks. Please take your time to read carefully the instructions or what is required from the exams. Students are also not allowed to take any form of a note into the examination papers unless required. Please consider the marks allocated to each question as a guide on the content required in order to avoid losing marks. The marks allocated to the question can serve as a guide to what content are you required to write. Make sure you understand the meaning of the verbs used in a question. For example, when you are asked to discuss, please point out the positive and the negative features of what you are asked and arrive at the conclusion. When you are asked to discuss, do not name, but explain. A term briefly outline means explain in short. Do not discuss in detail. The term differentiate. This is requiring you, a student, to point out the difference between the terms that you are asked to differentiate. Look at the difference. A question may come to ask you to list. This is direct. Please present a list of names or facts that you are asked or required to do. The term compare is requiring you to differentiate, look at the differences and the similarities associated to such terms. This is in short about the business studies class for today. But I'm still advising you the part of the preparation and the during examination advice will also be applicable to the next class, that is for business studies and its didactics. In short, I wish you good luck.